prayer, building relationship, teach them to identify their needs. Then, when the time the community identify their needs, we let them prioritize their needs. So they prioritize all their needs. If they will see, because most of the missionaries, they want, when they enter the community, I want all of these people to submit their life to Jesus. But in reality, it's not. It's not. It's a process. So when they prioritize their needs, for example, when we assign in Sarangani province, where Pacquiao is living, okay? We go to the community, then because it's more very hilly, and most of the people are tribal. They identify their needs. One of their identified needs, and it's amazing. One of their identified needs is church. Oh, it's amazing. And next is water. Sometimes like that. But there are times in the community, one of their identified needs is water, schools, electricity. Okay, so prayer, building relationship, teach them. Then 4, we need to link these community people to the NGOs, to the government, because we are not residents of that place forever. We are not residents in that place forever. Why? We have our family outside the community. You understand what I mean? We leave that people for us a short span of time. After 5 years, siguro 5 years. Then leave. So what I want to impart is for us, we base our teaching based on their identified needs. Then after that, praise God. From 2018 up to now, we already planted 26 churches. Wow. To God be the glory. So we use the tool of agriculture. And sometimes I drive the sick person with a motorbike going to the hospital. But we are also teaching them holistic approach. Agriculture, about health, about community development, water drilling. We teach them a lot of things. So that when we are out of the community, they can stand by their own. At the same time, we are assigned before in Nabunturan, that's part of Davao de Oro. When we enter the community, the community is called Mambing. This is a sort of testimony. When we enter the community, we have a man of peace. There's a man of peace there, one family only. Go to their house and talk. We go back to our home, then back to their home also. Then after that, for a span of 2 years, we have already started a house church. But it's long. It's a long time, no? Supposed to be 1 year or 2 years. Because we pastors, we want to have an easy, that we can plant church. But it's hard, no? It's hard. So, to God be the glory, when we transferred to Sarangani, from there, we stayed there for 5 years. Before, it's only 15 families. But now, all the people in the barangays become a member of the church. So, just a way that, very simple. We live a simple life because we don't have support. But in the mission field, I have nothing to fear. I have been proved God for a number of years. We don't have support from 2006 up to now. But I have a bargain with the Lord. I talk to God. Lord, I have been sending my nephews to school, many of them. But now I don't have support to send my children to school. This is my bargain, Lord. I faithfully serve you, but see to it, God. Send my son to school. So it's the time to claim, Lord, I've been faithful for how many years in the mission field? And this is the time I claim that you provide a financial needs for my children. Glory to God. My younger son was already a registered nurse now, without any money from us. That's my testimony. God is a God of love, is a God of provision. So as missionary, nothing to fear when you are in the field. Because it is already packaged. God is already packaged everything our needs according to His richness in heaven. He is already given. We need to claim that promise. So, prayer, building relationship, teach them, link them, teach them. So this morning, I will share, not too long, I will share the methods in organic farming. Because we are engaging organic farming in the farm. I have a friend. She is my boss before when I am in RLC, my manager. Then she talked to me, go to North Cotabato. We have a farm there. He has a very big tract of land. So now we are developing their farm. We developed their farm into a diversified farming. We have trees, we have fruit trees, we have rubber trees as a source of income. That's God-given blessing. Through the income of the farm, we can do mission work without any support from the church or anybody. It's from the Lord. So we develop it. The income of the farm, we use for the mission, and we also use to develop the farm because it is, there are many lots, but we are now developed 30 hectares of farm. So, one of our technology is we are engaging the organic farming. Why organic? What is the benefits of natural farming or organic farming? We all know most of the people now, most of the farmers now are using the conventional one. They will buy a lot of fertilizers, lot of pesticides, insecticides, to make the supplier, to make the factory of the fertilizers and the factory of pesticides become very rich. But the farmer, the longer they engage in farming, they are still poor. So one of our tools is to teach the community about natural farming. Why? Because the community people, that's the only they can afford by using God's creation to make fertilizer, to make pesticides, everything. In these surroundings, God has a purpose in every plants. So the benefits of what is natural farming first? Natural farming is a sustainable, eco-friendly agriculture approach that relies on working in harmony with nature rather than relying on chemical inputs or heavy machineries. People in the mountain, they don't have machine. They don't have tractor, but they have carabaos. Yeah, that's the only thing they have. That's why we utilize what is in their community. We are not utilizing international. Okay, that's natural farming. Okay, the benefits of natural farming is environmental benefits. You preserve soil. Why is it that we need to preserve the soil? If the soil is poor, when you plant to the soil, and the soil is very poor, what happened to your harvest? That's why at the end of the time, the farmer will say, I am short. You know what is I am short? My capital is more than my income, less than my income. So, we can preserve the soil, avoid chemicals, maintaining soil structure, using the microbial life. That's why this morning I will teach you the way of preserving foliar fertilizer. Yeah. Then promotes biodiversity, encourage diverse crops, insects, and microorganisms, creating a balanced ecosystem. That's the benefits. Reduces pollution. If you are in the city, but I'm not mocking the city, huh? If you are in the city and you're riding a car without aircon, from here, when you arrive there, what happened to your nose? Huh? There is. Yeah. So reduce pollution. In natural farming, you reduce pollution because no synthetic fertilizer, pesticide contamination. And also we can preserve the water, water and soils. Then conserve water, improve soil organic matter, and mulching reduce the need for irrigation. Next. Low inputs. No, farmers, resources, they can use their livestock dung, the urine, the composting, reducing dependence on costly synthetic inputs. As what I said a while ago, most of the farmers, they cannot afford to buy synthetic fertilizer and synthetic pesticides or insecticides. Okay. Most of the farmers, they will say, oh, Ate Elsa, I don't want to use the organic way of farming. Why? Because the yield is low. Okay. Okay, no problem. But I am one of I am engaging now the organic farming in rice, black rice. I have 1/4 hectare of rice. Now, next month, I bring Sir Joshua 2 kilos from the farm. In 1/4 hectare, I harvested only 26 sacks. In the conventional way of farming in rice, in 1/4 hectare, they can harvest 50 sacks. Most of the time, the farmer think it's better to have a sacks of rice than the small number of sacks in organic. But there is a variation. The organic one is more higher, the price is higher in the market than the conventional. I sell my rice, 1 kilo, 105 pesos per kilo. The conventional rice, they will sell it 40 pesos per kilo. So, they can say, oh, Ate Elsa, you have more profitable than me. You have a profit in your black rice than my rice. So, what I want to convey is, you need to do a demonstration farm for organic farming. So that the people in the community will convince. Because most of the people, to see is to believe. But Jesus is not like that. You believe, even you cannot see. But in the standard of the world, to see is to believe. Okay, higher margins of income. Next. Accessible for small farmers because they can afford the technology. Reduces their financial freedom, especially helping in areas where farmers face debt due to high cost of farming methods. Because most of the farmers, they will go to the investors, the buyer, credit. Credit, so they will be financially bandaged. But in this method, I think, minimize credit because of the resources. Okay, chemical-free. No? Chemical-free. In the farm, our rice is organic, our garden, vegetable garden is organic. We have fish pond, we have pond for organic tilapia, and we have also pond for non-organic, is served for business. Okay, so safer and healthier for consumers with no pesticides or synthetic fertilizers residues. Why is it that our ancestors before lived 100 years and now sometimes 60? Because not only food, but stress, many reasons, no? Okay, the nutrients is rich because it's naturally grown. Our rice, to God be the glory, it tastes very good. And our vegetables, very crunchy. And when we eat it, it's very safe, nothing to worry. Because I have also arthritis. Sometimes I have arthritis because sometimes I abuse in eating eating food that is okay. Climate resilience. Healthy soils retain more water and buffer against drought and extreme weather. It can help. Why? Because of the plants, no burning. Sometimes farmer, that's what Jethro last night said, slash and burn, no? But this technology, no burn, just slash and return it to the soil. Then, a sustainable long-term practices. It is more sustainable because in the conventional way of farming, according to the research, synthetic fertilizers, one of the ingredients of synthetic fertilizers is one of the ingredients in this asphalt. So if the farmer will use synthetic thing, at the end of the day, his farm is already asphalt. it's like in the road. So that's one of the ingredients. So it's more sustainable. Builds a self-sustaining farm ecosystem that can be productive. I think it's not forever, but it's a long term. Okay. Sige. Okay, there are key practices in organic farming. What are the key practices? Crop rotation, alternating crops seasonally to improve soil fertility and to break the pest and disease cycles. Then the other one is use of organic manure, application of compost, green manure, vermicompost, and plants residues. Because all these things will improve the structure and the activity and the nutrient contents of the soil. Mulching. Just slash and put it in the soil or in the plants. Then biofertilizers and biopesticides. The nitrogen fixing, you plant a nitrogen fixing bacteria shrubs to have pesticides. Then like neem tree, garlic, trichoderma. I don't know if you use that one. We have, in the farm, I have malatayon tree. I use as pesticide, but my husband told me, no, don't spray because you are killing the good insect. The bad insect lang ang will kill. Okay. Intercropping. So intercropping, growing different crops in the same area to enhance biodiversity, optimize land use, and reduce pest pressure. Then water management. Efficient irrigation system, example, drip irrigation. So for us, we have a 24/7 water because the farm is surrounded by water. So no problem with water in the farm. Okay. Then, as farmers, we need to have a certification and record keeping. So we teach the community to have record of all their expenses so that they can see if it is profitable or not. And also, we have to certify the farm to the government. So the farm, our farm, it's not our farm, but we have 1 hectare there. We registered it to the government by PhilGAP, the Good Practices, Agriculture Practices. So registered. Because when you are registered on that organization, the government will see to the buyer, okay, go to ELSA because the farm is PhilGAP. The farm is certified organic. So what we do is 1:1. If you have 1 kilo tilapia, we mix it with crude sugar. You know crude sugar? Crude sugar, and put it in the can or in the glass jar. Tie it and ferment it for 14 days. 14 days. Then after 14 days, strain it. The result is fertilizer. 1 to 2 tablespoons per liter, spray as foliar fertilizer. Fish amino acid. Just a glance, no? The fish, then newspaper or bamboo poles. Sometimes we use bamboo poles in the community. We use bamboo poles because they don't have glass jar or clay pot like that. Then Manila paper. Then we call this one in Mindanao mascubado sugar. Oh, then plastic straw for tying. Then mix 1:1. 3 kilos. You can use snails. You can use snails. The scrap meats. If you have a friend in the market, ask the fish, the rotten fish. But when you mix it with sugar, it's not rotten. The smell is not bad. It's very sweet. I hope. Okay. So, sige, sumpay pagang. Application. Spray to orchids, ornamental, vegetables, cereals, and fruit trees. 2 tablespoons of fish amino acid, the fermentation, and 1 liter of water. Spray the leaves of the plants, or you can spray it in the soil. We are using this one to make the microorganism live. Because there are microorganisms in the soil that we cannot see. It's only God can see it. That's why when you have slash and burn, when you see the ground, there are many, it looks like germ, but it's not a germs. It's a helpful germs, microorganism. Then, spray every 7 days, and from 6 a.m. from 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. If in the morning, but it's in the afternoon, spray it 5 until dark. Sige day. Okay, you can use it in the corn, the rice. My rice is, I always spray it with FEA because I make complete foliar fertilizer. Then next, number 2 is fermented fruit juice. Then the nature is when you want the plants, the stem to grow, to have a good stem, you need to have a stem also in making fertilizer. So, fermented fruit juice, what are the benefits? A good source of potassium, nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus. This is the 3 big elements. A good source of potassium which can speed up plants' absorption and result to sweeter tasting fruits. Okay? Next, help maintain vigor in plants and resistance against pests. Add to soil fertility and advent of good colonies of microorganisms. That's the food of the microorganism. Okay, materials. For us, we use banana trunk in the farm because we have tangkong, we have kangkong. We have plenty of kangkong in the farm. It runs in our fish pond. And also we have banana trunk. We use that one. Slice it, then put it in the jar, put muscovado sugar, ferment it for 5 to 7 days. After that, strain, and we have potassium. The next.
Why not papaya? Why not pineapple?
We use papaya, the only fruit, the fruit. Yung papaya trunk. Okay, oo. Pwede ang pineapple, but if you use pineapple, all acidic plants, if you use that one, you need to only spray it to the acidic plants also. If we use pineapple, if we ferment pineapple, we have to spray it in calamansi, to those acidic plants. We can use that one. But you spray to pineapple, to calamansi, what are the acidic plants? Mango, suha, yeah, you can use that one. Okay. Okay, sige pa ga. Okay, application. 2 tablespoons of fermented fruit juice, spray it on the plants or in the soil, spray it early, the same, with fish amino acid.
When I was in Isabela, the farmers told me that the insects are now, that the insects know the time and hour. So, when you say it, fixed na yung time na yan.
Yeah. Because yung mga insects, they will live in the plants when there's no light. They leave it at that time. But when the light is there, they will go. They were hiding during if there's no light.
But inside the plant.
Yes. But from the time there's light, they will go. That's why early in the morning. And also, why early in the... I have a lot there. Now, we did now fermented fermented plant juice. Plant juice, okay. Bali. It's, we use fermented fruit juice for fruiting. But this one, we use fermented plant juice for the steam during growing stage. Growing stage. Sorry, no? So help maintained by growing plants and resistance against pests can use a livestock breeding, spray pig pens, and poultry houses. That's the use to produce more colony of microorganisms, and it can also promote resistance against illness for human. All of these are very good, no? Very good. Then next, we can use alugbati, the kangkong, the bamboo poles, the bamboo. You can use the bamboo shoots. We use the bamboo shoots. Yeah, ubod. We use the ubod. Bamboo trunk, ubod, basta ubod. Like that. And we also use, sometimes we use kamuti shoots. Kamuti, yeah, potato, sweet potato. It's like kangkong. Okay. Sige gang. But the tips is this. If you make fermented, see to it early in the morning, you pick all the materials very early. Because the nutrient is still there. When the light is shining, the nutrients is evaporated. That's the tips, only tips. Okay? Again, 2 tablespoons per liter of water. Sometimes, for me, I will make a complete foliar. In one sprayer, I put FEA, I put FPJ, and I put FFJ as complete fertilizer. So in my black rice, every 7 days I sprayed in my black rice, the fermentation. And also we are making, I will teach you, but not, if you will not use, no problem. I am using, what is that, the liquid smoke. But it's, if you have a can, yeah, as pesticides. If you have can, then file the banana trunk and all botanical herbs like what is that? You know the herbs pang-ubo. What is that? Lagundi. You know lagundi. You know Madrid cacao. You know malatayon tree, neem tree. We use it as pesticide. But the problem, if you spray it weekly, you kill the good insect as your helper in the ecosystem. So what we are doing is we have liquid smoke. The procedure is there. And we have the OHN, Oriental Herbal Nutrients. Iana daw ga. We have calcium phosphate. If you have, what is this? The eggshell. Eggshell, we use it as calcium. We pound it and put it as source of calcium. So, we have a lot of fertilizer just surround us. Okay? Next ga. We can use also the bone. The bone, you just throw the bone going to the cats or to the dogs, but we can use it a source of calcium. Then, sunod ga. Labs. Sige pa ga. The labs is more complicated. We use the rice was. You know that? Okay, the rice was. Instead of throwing the rice was, you can use that one as. Then, sige ga. Because it will talk all the procedures. We use also the insect attractant. If the community is drunkard, it's the time for them to become drunkard. Why? What we are doing is, we have coconut juice, the sweet coconut juice, put it in the bottle, like this, but with a mixture of 3 liters clean water, 1 liter coconut vinegar, 1 kilo, this one, and the empty minerals. Mix it. For me, I only use coconut juice. The fresh coconut juice, I put it here. Then I open this one. I want to have a demonstration, actual demonstration, but no time. Then tie this one. I put the mixture there and put to my plants. So what will happen? If you are drinking coconut juice, you have not seen coconut juice. While still in the coconut, there are many insects inside. But when it is sold in the market, because it is already strained, there's no insect. So they are insect attractant. Because of the smell, during the night, the insect will go inside. Do you want? Okay? Okay. Next, indigenous microorganism. It's a lot of work. We have rice. We have to cook the rice, half cooked. Then put it in a box and buried it. Then after that, after how many days, take it out and put this one to become IMO. Okay, we can use also this fermentation with our animals. It's not only on the plants, it's also on the animals. So next ga. That's the procedure. Okay. So, as I told you before, just a while ago, there's no such accurate strategies on mission rather than the strategy of Jesus, feeding people, healing people, and meeting their needs. Good morning and God bless you.